All right, and we are live, just giving us a moment to share to multiple broadcasters, multiple pages to reach the masses.
Jessica, I can't hear you really well.
You can't. Uh,
It's getting a little better. I don't know what you just did.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. I said, we're just sharing to multiple pages. I'm sharing right now.
Okay. Okay, so are we live on? I know
Yes.
we're live on StreamYard. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Are we live on Facebook at all?
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
Because I'm looking for it. I don't see that. I don't know if you could. How can I share it to my page?
You could just share the broadcast, but I'm doing that now, anyways.
Oh, okay, awesome. Okay, so I just want to say hello and good evening to everyone, and I'm just going to talk a little bit until we are completely set up. But so tonight, right, is a huge night, the night after the election, and a candidate has been picked, and already we have controversy, right? So, what is, politics in America if it's not controversial? So basically we're right on par. And I'm here with my favorite co-host, Jessica. Hi, Jessica.
Hey, how are you tonight? I'm just
Hi.
trying to share to a few people that I know would probably want to join this broadcast.
Okay.
Hopefully they're available.
Okay, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so Jessica, I don't know if you can share with the audience what they can do to click on the link, because somebody just texted me and said that they're not sure how to get on. So maybe you can just give them a few comments to help them out a little.
Do they want to join us on the live or they just want to comment?
They didn't say, they just said that they weren't aware of how to get on.
Oh, well, usually what you do is you just click on a live.
Okay.
It's on the campaigns page, it's on your personal page, and it's
Okay.
also on my page as well. So
o-
the broadcast is shared. They
Okay.
just click on it. It's like any live.
Okay, so fantastic. So everybody who is listening, the listening audience, you can go on the page where I have my campaign page, Sheila Montague, or you can go on my regular Facebook page, which is Sheila Montague. And either of those places, you should be able to see this live broadcast for tonight. So I still don't see it quite yet showing on my other page, so I'm going to refresh because I want to make sure. Oh, there we are. Okay, fantastic. So I wanted to make sure that we were on and running, and we are. As always, this particular event, right, every week on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. is designed to help the citizens have a place where they can come, a forum where they can share their concerns and be heard and just have access, right, to being able to talk to the community, talk to me, be here also in the moment with my co-host so that we can just not just address the concerns, but give you a voice in the community, right? Just making sure that we have a robust conversation, whereas your thoughts, feelings, and ideas can exactly be heard. So, with that being said, tonight is a very important show, right? This show is definitely about you, the citizen. But what I tend to do is because, like I said, we're relatively new with this platform, and I usually don't have as much interchanging going on as I usually used to have in the past when I used to just do strictly a Facebook show. But now there's so much going on with Facebook. They're changing the name. I heard something about they may be shutting down periodically. So with those changes in mind, we still want to be able to bring you this platform to share, again, your thoughts, feelings, and ideas. So with that being said, you're welcome to join us through the comment section. That's what's so good about having an interactive medium. And
Mhm.
also, if somebody really wants to join, if you plug your email address into the comments, I believe, and Jessica, you can correct me, you can send them a link so they can actually come on with us as well, correct?
Mhm. Or they can inbox one of us, and I can send them the link.
Okay, so that's fantastic. So that's where we are. And again, this is interactive. This is for you. But until someone comes on and shares a thought and concern, we're going to continue on with the program. And again, we're continuing with the program until you guys come on with your thoughts and concerns, and we'll move forward from there. So with that being said, again, welcome. And we're going to start right off talking about the current campaign. There's a huge campaign. It was like really nail biting. Someone used that caption and I thought it was so fitting. It was like I stayed up all night. I woke up in the middle of the night. I think they stopped tallying around 3, and it just kept going on and on and on. So why is this important, right? This election is really important because I'm an advocate for free and fair elections. And there has been a lot of controversy, especially in Essex County and particularly inside of Newark City, where people feel that fraud occurs. There's a lot of regular commentary that goes on about the dead voting. I'm sure that came from, people actually being indicted, right, and arrested for having dead people vote. Yeah. So definitely, I don't want to say names tonight, but this is something that you could definitely Google and find out about. Um, Only because tonight is a little bit bigger than that. We have had the same leadership in position on the city council for probably as long as I've been alive, with the exceptions of one or two people who have been interchanged. God only knows how. But oftentimes there's maybe 50 plus people who are running. And I mean, really, um, people who are really just qualified for the position, and they are often overlooked, and it's like, wow, why, like, how could this have happened? And sometimes the numbers are so far-fetched. It's like we can't really believe those numbers. And even with one of the most recent sheriff's election, with one of the most recent sheriff's election that just occurred, what was really strange about that election was the fact that the election, the numbers were in immediately. I mean, like, if the polls were closed at 8 o'clock at 8:02, and I'm exaggerating, but you get what I'm saying. The numbers were in so fast. But here, where we have a Republican candidate, that is with who is this? Okay, I thought I saw somebody try to log in. Um, well, we have somebody who are not from Essex County, right, running, and you see a difference in how everything is run. And this has been a very, very learning experience for not just the constituents that are on looking, but for people like myself as well, because it's a whole different thing that takes place when you have outsiders to be participatory in the race. So let's say hello to Anir McLeod. Hello. And so we have some visitors. That's fantastic. Anything again that you have to say or add, please just note it in the chat section and we'll respond. Jessica, I don't know if you'd like to add anything yet, but if you do, please, if you want to, please do. And when you're done, I want you to roll a clip that I shared with you. So, but first, let me see if you have anything to say so far.
I just think everybody, this should definitely be a time that everybody will wake up and stand up for something or fall for anything, because they personally, I feel they have an agenda. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter where it is, they have an agenda. Even what you saying, Facebook name is changing into Meta. That's biblical.
Oh, really?
That's a part of the evolution. The robotic world that we're supposed to live in. And so, with everything being said, it's like, wake up, because I get that you feel like what you do, what you say doesn't matter, but it actually does.
Right.
You have people that's like you that is speaking up for everybody, and all you need is the force behind you to help you push those doors.
Right.
So many people pushing, it gotta open. If it don't open, kick them down. Because at the end of the day,
absolutely,
we have to be united with this thing. They don't really care like they say they do. They have personal agendas, whether it's in the election in Newark, whether it's the election, over the whole nation or anything. It's too much going on, and not everybody is speaking up. So I think that we all need to speak up.
Yeah, I agree. So how we narrow that down, right, is we break it down. And what we want to break down this evening, because we want to keep everything really concise. And we're going to break it down to the Democrats, because for so long we've been so loyal and just been there, for the Democrats. And even right now, the campaign that just took place, it was about, don't vote for the other person because they're with Trump. And it was like, you kind of got the feeling that the political and this is what happens when you have a political organization, right, that is working together, and thoughts and ideas and opinions that are not allowed to have happen. You don't know what's happening. You're just going on what you think, what you feel, and everybody else is bowing down because they know that that's the only way they're going to stay in your good graces. So I think that people weren't paying attention to how the political landscape for Black people has absolutely shifted. And again, there's been an absolute paradigm shift. And I want to just share with you this clip, because this was the warning that people didn't heed or pay attention to. So Jessica, if you could play this clip.
All right.
Yeah, this clip is by Tamika Mallory, and we're gonna just listen to this, and we're gonna talk briefly about it.
Hold on, I had to download it. I'm gonna just go through my email again.
Okay, no worries. So I'll just talk a little bit while you're looking for that. Again, this clip is by Tamika Mallory. She's an activist here in the United States, and she's always on the front steps for any injustice. And we're just gonna take a quick look at this short clip and discuss it afterwards. And again, this was the warning that I believe that wasn't heeded.
Because I didn't vote for them. I don't donate to their campaigns, and I haven't helped any of their candidates win an election. I came here with a letter to the Democratic Party. I want to talk to the.
Is there any way we can see the video, Jessica?
I remembered Fannie Lou Hamer's
you
words
can't see
when
it?
she said,
"No,
I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired." 94% of Black women continue in an abusive relationship with the Democratic Party. We are trapped in an abusive relationship. You keep on lying to us and telling us to work hard, to fight for you, to stand with you. And when it's time for you to be courageous and bold and stand up.
All right, hold on.
For the purpose of today, I didn't come to talk.
I'm gonna have to share it another way.
Because I didn't vote for them.
I'm gonna have to share it another way.
Okay.
Any of their candidates win an election.
So no worry, we'll just
to the Democratic Party.
Well,
I want to talk.
She is not playing.
Yeah, maybe we can just start it over again and just listen to it if we're unable to see it. Again, this was a speech given this summer, and if we can, we're gonna. Okay, there it is. Start it back from the beginning.
All right, hold on.
I vote for them. I don't donate to their campaigns, and I haven't helped. But for the purpose of today, I didn't come to talk to the Republicans because I didn't vote for them. I don't donate to their campaigns, and I haven't helped any of their candidates win an election. I came here with a letter to the Democratic Party. I want to talk to the Democrats today. You see, I remembered Fannie Lou Hamer's words when she said, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. 94% of Black women continue in an abusive relationship with the Democratic Party. We are trapped in an abusive relationship. You keep on lying to us and telling us to work hard, to fight for you, to stand with you. And when it's time for you to be courageous and bold and stand up for us, we can't find you. You wiggle and you waver. We are sick and tired of being sick and tired. We are sick and tired of you coming to us with excuse after excuse. Now the filibuster is in our way. We are sick and tired of our children being targets of police violence while Senator Cory Booker jokes about defunding the police, which might be the only thing that will save our lives. We are sick and tired of having to fight this same fight over and over again for our right to vote. This has been going on too long. Enough is enough. So we have come to tell the Democrats that we are sick and tired of you as well. Stop pointing at others and telling us to look at them. No, we're looking at you. Our people have been too committed to your party, and we have not received justice, and you have not done your job on our behalf. Chuck Schumer, you may have position, but the people have the power. Do your job. Nancy Pelosi, you may be in position, but the people have the power.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Jessica. And the reason why, again, I wanted to share that with everybody, because it's very imperative to the climate that we find ourselves in currently in politics as a people. Again, just to reiterate what she said, for too long, we have been in an abusive relationship with the Democrats. And when I look on social media and I see people saying, oh, thank the Lord, the Democrats won, something's wrong with that. Because we have to, some of these people are the same people who I know for a fact had run for office and did not win. And there were Democrats that was the source of them not winning in so many ways, whether it was playing around with votes, whether it was not having free and fair elections, whether it was district leaders in a particular ward going to man each of the polls and not like allowing for the nonpartisanship to take place with the election. So these things are all important because they impact our community in every single way. When you hear Tamika Mallory talking about this abusive relationship with the Democrats, that we're trapped there, one of the things that she's talking about is the George Floyd bill. That act was dead on arrival. And everybody was really hoping that we would get that bill passed, especially since we worked so hard to put President Biden in office. That did not occur. The HBCUs, the $45 billion that was placed for those schools was smacked down to $2 billion by not Trump, but Biden. So when we're talking about, and I want to be clear, I'm not a Biden supporter. I mean, I'm not a Trump supporter at all. I want to be very clear. I have been a lifelong Democrat, but you have to look at some facts and say, you got to tilt your head at some things, because when you see these signs up all over our community saying, hey, vote for this person because they're a Democrat and don't vote for Trump. Trump is not even in office. So why would those things even come into place to be monumental in size, so that this is what we're seeing as we're driving down or walking through main corridors in our city? I see it as a brainwashing or conditioning tactic, right? That Biden, again, Trump is the bad guy. These Republicans, they're bad people, right? And pointing the finger. And again, just as Tamika just said, pointing the finger, but what is it that you're doing, right? So we're talking about that George Floyd Act. We're talking about the HBCU money that was taken away. We're talking about reparations. We're talking about the reparations that we didn't receive. That reparation bill could have been signed. With a stroke of a pen, we could have been in a totally different economic circumstance that we're in. The poor one that we're in now, currently no fault of our own, right? Through redlining, through opportunities that were not afforded to us, from land that was taken away from us. There's so many instances. I could go on and on and on, but I think a lot of us know. And if you don't know, ask questions, and I'll dig a little bit deeper into any of these topics that I'm just, brazing the surface of. But in the long run, what I'm trying to say is that we have the same thing that Tamika said. We have pledged our loyalty to the Democrats, and I'm not sure what they have pledged to us. Lastly, citizenship. we were second class. We were always considered second class citizens because we've been the minority, right? But over the last 40 years, for some reason, progress was not made. And so now all of a sudden we're seeing, whether people want to have this conversation or not, we're seeing the Hispanic community leapfrog over us, right, into that second class citizenship. We're seeing the LGBT community, right, which have turned into the third minority, right? And so we are fourth, if not fifth class leadership now, behind the immigrants who just received reparations at the tune of $500,000 per person. In some households, equaling up to $1 million, while many of us still struggle with $50,000 student loans that are killing us with interest fees that we don't know if we'll ever get up out of, if our credit will ever be right because of. And where's our $1 million start over? Where's our $1 million start over? So these are some things that we have to hold these people who are running for office accountable for. And I remember when what's his name? Ice Cube. When Ice Cube tried to say the same thing, he was called a coon. He was laughed at when he said you need to sit down with both people to see what they're what they're talking about, to see what deal is better for us, to analyze it. It is business. And why don't we understand business in mass? Because they don't teach it. They don't teach it inside the schools. So we have a situation where they're not teaching financial literacy. They're not teaching business, right? They're not teaching the Amistad Act. They don't want to teach critical race theory. So all of the while, we're trapped, ignorant to our history, ignorant to how businesses run, ignorant, and just meaning not knowing, to how politics is run. So that's how we have people sitting on social media thinking it's a victory because the Democratic nominee, or the incumbent in this case, got reelected. But what did we get? Why are we celebrating? And we have to analyze that and find out what that is. What are we really getting for our vote? Where's the bang for our buck? Are our children going to be in a better situation 20 years from now, or maybe even 10, depending on how old your child is? Are they going to be in a better situation than our previous parents left us in, right? And these things are important. And when you look at the taxes that are high, which was a really big point of contention during this recent re-election, the taxes that are so high, our kids are going to these public schools and not even learning how to read and write effectively. The last scores that were shared was 9% in math and 11% in literacy. Those are the scores. Now they want to blame it on COVID. Stop it. Stop it. Nobody just fell from reading on an A-B level during COVID and now you just can't read or write at all. Stop it. And we're talking about a $1 billion budget in Newark. We're talking about the cheating that has been going on with these elections for years coming to a head. And why is it important? Because so many of us see, we don't see the history, right? We don't see the timeline of events that took place that brought us to where we are today as a collective. And we blame ourselves. We get frustrated. And what ends up happening is we start to get angry with each other. We start to implode. And even that, right? Even like we don't have the control of the school system. We don't have control over the water. And again, lead, what does it affect? The frontal lobe of the brain that causes anger and aggression. And then we look at the kids out here being angry, shooting. Where do the guns come from? We know lots of people in the community have went to jail for selling cocaine. Who was indicted or went to jail when that huge shipment of cocaine arrived here and they discovered that it was from J.P. Chase? So these are the questions that we have to ask. We have to start watching because A lot of people like to say, oh, I'm not involved in politics, but politics affects everything around us, from education, employment, public safety, housing. And that's another thing. So many women I know right now are struggling with housing situations. When we help build this country, there should be nobody sleeping on the street, when in fact there are entire families right now sleeping in the street, when the temperatures are starting to drop really low now. And this is a crying shame. And to be able to utilize power to get people in office, but that power not be reciprocated to help us with the menial things that we need. We know that racism exists here in the country. We don't want to regulate people's feelings, right? We just want to regulate that there are laws put in place to keep us safe so that they don't just kill us at will. So when we're talking about issues like defunding the police, this is not a joke. Something else that Tamika Mallory just mentioned, this is not a joke. If the police are just going to kill, right, Black people with impunity, there needs to be a total do-over of the police, because that's unacceptable. So these are just a few things. Like I said, I don't want to keep you guys on here past 30 minutes. Those are just a few things that I wanted to share. There's so much more that I would really love to share, but at the end of the day, you guys have to be participatory in the voting process. Just demanding certain things. I saw a post that went up earlier, and the post said, why is it that parents can't go into the schools to see and check on their kids, but they can go in the schools to vote? That was a scathing statement of where we are as a people and the lack of respect that we have from our government. And this is the sole reason why I created this forum, so that people could come on and share their opinions. But, and again, there's so many people that are getting targeted, and there's so many people who don't have a voice, because if you have a voice and you exercise it, you can get targeted. I know so many people like that, including myself. So you have to be brave. You have to take those steps. And right now, I think one of the most bravest things that is going on is the fact that Jack Citarelli, and forgive me, I always say if I'm saying his name wrong, he did not lay down for this. I didn't even hear an hour ago that somebody gave the election to him, that named him, as winner of the election. And then it was like quiet. And then a whole bunch of other forums started saying it. And he said, no, wait a minute. So they have some really tangible things that they're going to question. The same things that I've questioned in prior school board meetings. School board elections. Like I had all the votes for the South Ward. At 8:00, the polls would close. And then after that, I had no votes or nearly, and the other person had like so many other votes, like quadrupled of what I had, and no one knew him at all. So those are things that I think that are more important than the winner of the election. More important than the winner, I would say that just making sure that we demand fair and free and democratic elections is what this country needs, and it's definitely what we need here in the city. And with that being said, I'm going to let my co-host take us out with some last words or comments. What do you think about some of this stuff that was shared?
You always speak about accountability, being a leader in the community for so long, holding them accountable. I think that is key. It really is. Like the last election, they had videos of people ripping up ballots, stealing ballots, and all of that, like holding them accountable. That's how we get our voices on the map. That's how a start happens. We got to start from somewhere. And I think that, for one, you go out to vote. Secondly, you hold them accountable. That's how we begin to have a voice. We don't only have to go to work, but pay for our mortgage and our cars and die. No, your voice and what you feel about where you live, it matters. And I think that we all need to start exercising that.
Absolutely.
My uncle posted a video today or yesterday about him going to vote, and he lives in Georgia. But his thing was he always reported to one place for 20 years to vote. And then they keep sending him to this place and that place. They literally redirected him 3 times.
Wow.
But he placed his vote. You know what I'm saying? But at the same token, yeah, because they want us to give up. They feel like we don't care that much. We just gonna give up or we ain't gonna vote.
Wow. Voter suppression at its best.
Yes. So I think this is where the voice needs to start. We got to stand up or we're going to fall for anything. They're just going to do whatever they want to do to us. They got agendas. And we've been knew that. How long our grandmama's been saying that? Our mama's been saying that. They're going to try to take us out. We've been knew all of this a long time ago. It's just, I think we need to get behind those who keeps it real. Like no sugar, no coating, just keeping it real, even the ugly. Tell me the ugly so I can really know what's going on.
Right.
And I think we need to get behind people like that, and we need to stand up. We have to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, thank you so much, Jessica, for your commentary. And if anyone else has, or if you see this airing later and you have questions, comments, or opinions, please, they are vitally important. Plug them into the comment section. And what you can also do is inbox us. My name is Sheila Montague, District Leader for the West 49th District in Newark's West Ward. And we're here to just serve our community servants at large. Thank you for joining us this evening. And until we see each other next time. Peace.
Bye.